As bad as sometimes today seems, for some valuable perspective, read up on World War II as well as the aftermath of that war that killed the most people than in any other event in history. If you want a little help from Hollywood with that, you may want to watch today's movie Nuremberg to see what truly bad days were. You might then just start thinking it wasn't that bad that the barista at the nearby coffee shop read your name wrong or Netflix got rid of the show you liked. That and more on Movies Merica Live.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to this latest episode of Movies Merica Live. Happy Sunday to you. And as always, I'm your host, Van Eberts, aka Movies Merica, aka Movie Maniac. And just want to say hi to all my fellow movie maniacs and my fellow freedom fueled film fanatics out there as well. As we get into a World War II historical drama here today, and that, of course, would be Nuremberg. And real quick, just want to just suggest to you that if you know of anybody that you even remotely suspects is into movies, well, go ahead and share the link to this episode right now with them, especially if they're like World War II movie buffs. You know, probably like your dad or your grandfather. You know, this is right up their alley since it's a World War II historical drama right there. Okay, so and then also real quick, we do have the live chat available on Rumble and YouTube. That's one of the perks of doing this show live. You don't have to just sit there and twiddle your thumbs and listen to me yep, the whole time. You know, you can involve yourself, get in the live chat, and at least say hi, you know, or hey, man, great episode, or man, your show sucks butt, you know, or something like that. But the point is that this is an interactive show, and the live chat is what makes it interactive right there. Okay, so all right, let's get into some Nuremberg here. And I know some of you might be saying, like, this is not a new movie. Nuremberg, didn't just come out this weekend. And it's like, I know this movie came out back, last November. So this is technically a retro review, but I just love war dramas. And as it turns out, this was the better movie back on that November 14th weekend last year. Certainly better than The Running Man, the movie I chose to review for that weekend back then. But and also, real quick, I should mention that this movie Nuremberg is on Netflix right now. That's where I happen to watch it there. But so this movie is directed by James Franklin, and I don't blame you if you guys don't know who that is. Or this is not a household name director like Spielberg or Denis Villeneuve or James Cameron or anybody like that. Your Christopher Nolan's, nothing like that. James Franklin is just kind of pretty obscure. But this movie stars the Academy Award winning Russell Crowe, also the Academy Award winning Rami Malek. You guys might know him. He's a guy, he won his Academy Award for playing Freddie Mercury. You got Michael Shannon, Leo Woodall, Richard E. Grant, Wrenn Schmidt, John Slattery, and then Lydia Peckham. And that's just a small smattering of the plot or of the cast in this in Nuremberg. And so the plot, just kind of give you the broad strokes of the plot of Nuremberg is so it's the end of World War II. Germany's lost. Japan's lost. Italy's lost. The good guys, America. Oh, and then the UK and France and all those guys. We are the victors. We are the winners. And so now we're in that process where we've got some of the German high command in custody, but there's still some baddies from Germany wandering around trying to escape and that kind of thing, right? So, and we eventually do capture Hermann Goring, who is or Goering. This is Russell Crowe, the player, the character of the character, the real life guy that Russell Crowe plays. So they capture him, and it's and at this time there's a kill order out there basically for any German any German bad guy that they catch. Then there's like a kill order there. Now it's kind of sketchy as far as who had the kill order out there, whether it was Roosevelt from the United States or Winston Churchill. I'm pretty sure Stalin. I think that's pretty much definitive that Joseph Stalin from Russia, like he liked the kill order. He was like, oh yeah, any of these doofuses, any of these German doofuses you run them, across, Rudolf Hess, Goering, whoever, right? Go ahead and just obliterate them right on the spot. Just gonna just make them dead basically right there immediately. So a kill order, that kind of like Order 66, from Star Wars. They're like, just kill them all, right? And but there's a character, the character played by Michael Shannon. He's a Supreme Court Justice, like Robert Jackson is his name, and he's one of those guys who was like, well, I think it's kind of barbaric. It doesn't. What makes us better than them if we're just going around and if we happen to find, one of these German losers, like we just shoot them, we just kill them or whatever, right then and there. He's one of those guys, right? And he's like, you know what, we need to. I think the way he was thinking is like, we need to do it better than Germany did it. Okay, they went around just massacring people, systemically massacring people. Let's show them like what a higher character, people of higher morals would do it, right? So he wanted to create like an international tribunal to try these guys, and I think one of his main goals is he wanted to get these German scum to in front of the world, in front of worldwide worldwide cameras in a trial to admit the evils, the atrocities that they committed there, and that's basically the plot. So we've got all these German bad guys. I'm avoiding saying a certain word because there's and I'll use it later on in the episode. There's a certain word that starts with the letter N and ends with the letter I that I don't want to say here, like the first, like 15 minutes of the show, YouTube rules and all that stuff, right? Since YouTube is a bastion of free speech, right? And so it's all about like them being tried by the U.S., by the U.K., by France, by the Soviet Union, by many countries here, and what was became the Nuremberg trials there. And so it's Nuremberg trials are so famous. They're worldwide famous. I mean, they were like these trials that were watched worldwide. Across this big planet we call the planet Earth, right? And then also there's several movies who've been made about Nuremberg. Obviously, this one. There's an Alec Baldwin movie called Nuremberg back in 2000, where Brian Cox, you guys might know him from Succession. He played Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter. He played Hermann Goring in that one. Then there was the trials at Nuremberg, or whatever that movie was back with Maximilian Schell and Richard Widmark back in the 60s. That was a Nuremberg movie as well. But today we're concentrating though on the 2025 Nuremberg movie with Russell Crowe right there. So that's how we're rolling here today. But that's the plot of the movie. I'm not going to go into it any more than that. That's the broad strokes that I said that I would give you about the plot. But let's move on. All right, and we got some more Nuremberg to talk about here. And as usual, we see a magnetic performance by Russell Crowe. Now, he's not the big movie star he was 20 years ago anymore. I mean, he's still doing some of his best work, quite honestly, okay? Sure, he's not all hunked out like, in his Gladiator and A Beautiful Mind days, Master and Commander, The Far End of the World, those days, right? But let's just say, as robust as his physique is now, his performances nowadays are just as robust. For another example of a excellent Russell Crowe showing or performance there's a movie that you should check out, and it's called Land of Bad. And that's where Russell Crowe plays like this Air Force drone operator that's trying to save some military operators, some military guys on the ground, with the drones and launching missiles from the drones and that kind of thing. And I think that's also on Netflix there. But and Crowe is excellent in that, and so he just elevates that movie so much. But again, it's called Land of Bad, and it's on Netflix right now. It's a very action packed, very tense movie. So it's really good. It's never boring whatsoever. So Russell Crowe, I mean, he still takes on interesting roles as he comments in this video right here.
But the decision to take on the weight of playing a character that's a Nazi, the second in charge, what was that? That's heavy, right?
Yeah. But that thrill comes from that thing of saying this challenge is so big, I don't know if I can do this. And then so part of you goes, I should leave that aside. And then the other voice goes, let's just have a go.
Yeah.
Let's have a go, see what we can do. And see someone like Goring, that word nuance is coming up a lot today, because we can look at him in the stark sort of caricature version that a lot of people have in their minds of who he was. But that against the reality of his life and how he grew up, how he was educated, what his experiences were, who he really was as a man. There's a lot more to Goring than just looking at this going, oh, bad man, Nazi, He, one thing I find fascinating, when he was a kid at school, he was like one of the dumbest students in his class at a normal school. And because of his sort of continuous failure, as a punishment, he got sent to military school. In military school, he was a top student because it was stuff that interested him. He comes out of school pretty much on the dawn of the First World War, has his first military experience in the infantry as a young officer, gets wounded, and realizes that standing on the ground on a battlefield is not really the right place for him. What's interesting him is what keeps going on overhead. So he manufactures a way to get himself assigned to a fighter squadron. Is supposed to turn back up for duty with his infantry squadron, but sort of, manufactures a way to keep him associated with the fighter squadron, learns how to become a pilot while he's doing that. And at a certain point in the war, they're losing more pilots than they train. So they go, he knows how to fly, he can be a pilot. Finishes the First World War with 22 kills, air-to-air kills. That's 3 times a fighting ace. And he's also, because he recently passed in battle, at the end of the First World War, he's in charge of the Baron von Richthofen, the Red Baron's squadron, which is the pinnacle of the German Air Force. So here he is as a young man. He's finishing that First War experience. And he is a fair dinkum, which means true. He is an actual war hero. And so through the 20s, he's on cigarette cards in Germany. You buy a packet of cigarettes and there's a picture of Hermann Goring.
Wow.
So, and he goes into that political environment, that post-Versailles environment, with a very definite belief in his country as being something special, and he wants to make a contribution to lifting his country out of the mire that it's currently in. So he starts looking for a political connection and ends up going upstairs in a coffee house in Munich, I think it was, and hearing a fellow called Adolf Hitler talk. And realizes that he has a lot in common with this guy, or he sees things and knows that Hitler was a soldier. It's a funny thing we put into the movie at one point, because there's a speech about Rami Malek makes about Hitler being a failed painter and a not very good soldier. And I think the response I gave Goring at the time, which is not in the film, but he talks through Hitler's actual military record. And yeah, he didn't rise above Lance Corporal, but he turned down promotion 3 different times. He won an Iron Cross in 1914, and then he won a second one in 1918, and doing things that were showing such extreme courage that he was awarded the Iron Cross. And he delivered messages on the battlefield. He would take the messages from headquarters and take it to the frontline troops and then bring their response back, things like that. So at one point in time I had Goring say, you call him a failed painter, but maybe he got to a certain point in his life where there were more important things to address than painting. So, nuance,
So Russell Crowe taking on, roles like Goring reminds me of how even over 20 years ago, he took on an uncomplimentary but very intriguing. I should say he took on uncomplimentary but intriguing roles. One example is like playing a tobacco company whistleblower Jeffrey Wygand in The Insider. Michael Mann's The Insider there, where Russell Crowe is paired up with Al Pacino, and Al Pacino played like the 60 Minutes producer that was trying to get Wygand to do a 60 Minutes interview blowing the lid on how tobacco companies knew that cigarettes were addictive there. And for that role, Russell Crowe had to gain, it was like, I don't know how many pounds, but he had to look like he was, all frumpy and all that, right? And that was a year before he played Maximus in Gladiator, right there. So, but yeah, it was cool because he's he's got movie star looks right there, but he's not afraid to kind of fatten himself up, to back in the day when he was skinny. Now he's not so skinny there, but he's not this vain actor that's always got to be in shape and be like the movie star and be like the titular hero, always looking like a badass or anything like that. So, and then fellow Oscar winner Rami Malek, he's also good in Nuremberg. Now he's playing the Nuremberg's prisoner's state of mind there. So basically, he's brought in as a U.S. Army psychiatrist to do like a political or a mental evaluation on all these Nazis here. See, now I can use that word because we're 15 minutes of the show. I can use the word Nazi now. So, he's there to to investigate all these Nazis. So I think there's like 21 prisoners, including Hermann Goring there, and then Rudolf Hess, who's another big name in the Nazi high command there. So Rami Malek's character is there to evaluate them mentally, and kind of try to glean from them what kind of what's their mental state. So that he can maybe determine, okay, why are these people so evil? And if we can figure out why they're so evil, maybe we can come up with something to prevent people from becoming this evil, that kind of thing. And I got to say, like Rami Malek, he's more charismatic than usual. I got the feeling that he was channeling Tom Cruise's Daniel Kaffee character from A Few Good Men. He just kind of had that charisma, kind of trying to chew up the scenes as he was, going through his performance there. And we also have the aforementioned Michael Shannon as Supreme Court Justice Robert Jackson. And he's also good in an understated way. So basically the exact reversal or the exact opposite of Michael Shannon's portrayal of General Zod in Man of Steel, over 10 years ago in the Zack Snyder's Superman movie there. So, and then also we have Leo Woodall, who I'd never even heard of as an actor. I was looking up his filmography on IMDb. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything, but Leo Woodall, he plays Kelly's translator because Rami Malek's character Douglas Kelly doesn't speak German, but this character Howie Triest, played by this Leo Woodall actor, he does speak German, so he's Kelly's German translator. He is surprisingly good, but he's still a supporting player in the movie, but he's surprisingly good as a supporting player. And Leo Woodall, in his role as Howie Triest, he's in the Army as well. He gives a heartbreaking monologue almost towards the end of the movie about why it's important that Hermann Goring and all the other Nazis are shown to be the pure evil that they are. Now, with Nuremberg, with everything that I've discovered right here, as far as the actors go, with Nuremberg, at the very, very least, you'll see some supremely competent acting all around. That is no lie right there. But yeah, real quick here, I want to say hello to my good buddy, Mr. Scott Awesome, here in the live chat on Rumble. And he says, hello, fellow taco lovers. Yes, get your taco. I like it. Ooh, muy bien. I love it. I love it. Yes, it's so good. So there we go. That's my totally accurate, totally accurate movie or Mexican accent right there. Totally. As I try to get my ducks in a row over here. So, but real quick here, I just want to remind you, and I say real quick, I mean that we do have some buttons that you can click on here, as most YouTube and Rumble shows do. And those are known as the like button. Right on down there's the like button. That's one button you can click on to like the episode if you are so inclined. And then also there's a subscribe or follow button also down there. And you can click on that if you haven't clicked on it already, okay? And then there's a notification bell button there as well. And click on that if you haven't clicked on it already. And the notification bell, all that means is just going to send you one lowly email a week just to let you know that there's a brand new, piping hot, fresh, delicious, lip-smacking new episode of Movies Merica coming hot out of the oven just for you. Okay, right there. And then real quick here to my viewers that didn't have a chance to watch the show live, you're just watching the recording of it. Well, thanks a lot. You know what? I'm just as thankful that you're watching it, the recording of it, as anybody that's watching it live there. Unfortunately, you missed out on a chance to live chat with me and I to communicate with you during the live chat, but we can still communicate back and forth with each other. We're just going to do it via the comments section down below, the old comments section. And yeah, get in there and comment about whatever you want. By all means, there you go. Go crazy, go nuts right there. All right, let's move on. And we've got some more Nuremberg to talk about here. And make no mistake, this movie is nowhere near historically accurate. For example, like I said, Rami Malek's character, Douglas Kelly, the psychiatrist that they bring in to evaluate all the Nazi prisoners there, he wasn't actually at the Nuremberg trial. Now, he was just there. He was there, but before the Nuremberg trial started. So he was there for, an extended amount of time, but that was before the trial. And by the time the Nuremberg trial started, he had been promoted and he was back in the States there. But the movie portrays him as being at the trial there. Also, Douglas Kelly didn't spend a lot of time with Goring's wife and daughter as is portrayed in the movie. Now, he knew Goring's wife, but that's as far as it went. He just knew about her there. And then, there were rumors going around as to where Goring's wife and daughter were hiding and that kind of thing. So, and on a side note about their relationship there with, Goring's wife, her name is Emmy, and then Goring's daughter named Etta. That whole relationship that's portrayed in the movie is just enigmatic there, because you got to remember, they're the wife and daughter of essentially a murderous demon on Earth, okay? And also, another historically inaccurate thing in this movie is there's no way that Goring would have known about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, as is implied in the script here. Because remember, he's in prison. He has no access to newspapers or TV footage of the news or movie tone news, with the reels of the world events. He's got no access to information, so he would not have known about us dropping Fat Man and Little Boy, those nukes on Japan there. That all being said, though, Nuremberg is still a very, very good movie, and that's the thing, is most historical drama movies, they're not meant to be documentaries. Okay, they're oftentimes they oftentimes have like just events and relationships and characters added to the movies to kind of Hollywood it up, right? To just increase the drama, make the movie a little bit more compelling, that kind of thing. So this movie is no exception to that, right there. Like there's a reporter character, and she's like a really hot, a reporter character in this movie. She never existed, in this whole true story about the Nuremberg trial, but she's inserted into the movie there to kind of move along the plot and that kind of thing. So, and they did get the actual conducting of the Nuremberg trials pretty close to accurate. I mean, it's hard not to, because remember, these Nuremberg trials specifically were designed to document them thoroughly. Okay. I mean, they were set up with like numerous lighting setups in the courtroom. And those lighting setups were used so those filming the trials had, decent exposure levels or lighting levels. And then, of course, there were microphones everywhere. And as a result, director James Franklin and then Jack L. High is the guy that wrote the book that this movie is based off of there, and I think he also co-wrote the script. But James Franklin and Jack L. High had plenty of trial footage to use to recreate the courtroom that the trials were held in. Because if you go out on YouTube, you can pretty much get the entire Nuremberg trial out there. I mean, just how many days and hours of Nuremberg trial, how many hours and days that the Nuremberg trial took place over, right? You can basically watch the whole thing on YouTube or other places, obviously on Al Gore's worldwide interweb right there. But and we got a little kind of a little video here to kind of show you how close, if not exact, that James Franklin and Jack L. High got the courtroom to look here in the movie, in contrast to real life.
Hermann Wilhelm Goring.
Die Anklagebehörde hat in ihren Schlussplädoyers die Verteidigung und ihre Beweisführung als völlig wertlos behandelt. Die unter Eid gemachten Ausführungen
And I purposely cut out the sound on the movie part of that video right there, just because I didn't want to get dinged for copyright right there. We'll see if I still do get dinged for copyright, but yeah. So, and again, like the first part of that, the black and white footage, that's the actual Nuremberg trials, and that guy was actual Hermann Goring, the actual Hermann Goring there in that video there. But again, like I said, you can find the Nuremberg trials all over YouTube and other places there on the web. But James Franklin and Jack L. High, as far as like authenticity of the trials there portrayed in the movie, they even show like how sunglasses were provided to everyone that was in that courtroom because the lighting was so bright in the courtroom. Again, like I said, they wanted the courtroom to be lit so bright that the ones that were capturing it, on film there, had basically, so it looked good on film there. So what I'm trying to stammer out right there. My God, I can't talk today. But this all adds up to a movie with so many compelling twists and turns. That is for sure right there. So, but real quick here, I think we need to change it up a little bit and add a little variety and spice to this episode right here. And I can't think of a better way to do that than with brew review time. All right. Let me introduce you to the brew for today. And all right, let's get that right there. There we go. All right. So, and since we got St. Patty's Day coming up here a couple days from the original taping of this episode here, I wanted to, of course, do a review of something Irish related. And so I have met that requirement, that goal here with a little Great Lakes Brewing Company Conway's Irish Stout here. And this comes to us, that brewery, the Great Lakes Brewing Company, is out of Cleveland, Ohio. And this beer, the name Conway, that name Conway is actually, it's named after the brewery founder's grandfather, okay, who was a Cleveland cop. Uh, and then, of course, you might be like, hey, Van, that's great. Thanks for the history lesson about this beer and what it was named after and all that stuff and, where the brewery is at. But you know what? What I really want to know is, how does it taste, brother? Come on, man. That's what I want to know. It's a beer. I want to know how it tastes. And so this beer right here, it does have the taste of like roasted malts. It's got like a little slight dark chocolate flavor to it. And I also taste a little bit of toffee in there. Okay. Now, again, remember when I say chocolate and toffee and all that stuff, again, remember, it's not like this overt, extreme toffee and chocolate flavor. I'm talking it's very, very slight here. Okay. But enough to where, you can tell that it's in the beer there as well. And so it's got, in the chocolate, it's got kind of a bitter taste. Again, a very subtle chocolate bitter taste to it right there. And then as far as like the aroma here, the nose, let's check this out here real quick. So it's got like the crust of some toasted bread, that smell. And then I'm getting chocolate there as well with the nose on this beer there. So, and it comes to us at 4.5 alcohol by volume there, which is actually pretty light for a stout there. But this is a lighter stout, and it's a good one to drink on old St. Patty's Day. Again, that's coming up right here. So I could just taste, the Reuben sandwiches already and that kind of thing. But unfortunately, I'll be working here, but I'll have to get something there after work for a little St. Patty's Day. But I know you guys are like, oh, well, that's fascinating. Thanks for letting us know your St. Patty's Day plans. Next. Okay. But this beer, and I like to, and I'm going into what foods this beer pairs well with, because I like to tell you that there as well. And the first thing that it pairs well with is fish and chips. Also goes good with like barbecue brisket, hearty beef stews. You can even make a milkshake out of this right here with like vanilla ice cream and chocolate bitters there. So mix this in, with some vanilla ice cream and some chocolate bitters, and you got yourself, a spiked milkshake there. So I mean, I'll admit I'm not above, getting a spiked milkshake every once in a while there. Since I moved from Dallas Fort Worth up to a smaller area, I got to find another place where I can actually get a spiked or a boozy milkshake, because I had plenty of places down there to get boozy milkshakes, but not so much anymore where I've moved to right now. But again, that's my problem, not your problem right there. But with that here, I'm going to take a drink off this beer, because that's really what it's all about, right? So, all right, slancha. All right, excellent. So I'm recommending this Conway's Irish Stout from Cleveland, and hey, Cleveland rocks, and so does their beer, I guess, right here. So a little Conway's Irish Stout there. Probably I'm just picturing some people drinking this in a Cleveland bar. Most Cleveland bars were like the long bar. It's like all those bars that's got that long hallway kind of build out to it right there with a long bar and that kind of thing. So this is your classic like neighborhood, like Irish pub kind of looking place right there. So, but this tastes great anywhere, even behind a microphone while you're doing a live stream. That's for sure. But anyway, pick yourself up some Conway's Irish Stout. You could probably get it like via an app on your phone, like Open Bar. That's available on iOS. I think it's on Android now as well. Android always bringing up the rear as usual. But then also you can go to like Uber Eats if you have this beer in your area, or you can go to like a website like gopuff.com, and that's a website that prides itself on being able to get any beer anywhere in the world, even if you're 5,000 miles away from the nearest place where the beer is available there. So now obviously without saying, it's going to cost you some scratch. Okay, it's going to be a little pricey there if you're in Walla Walla, Washington. I'm trying to get some beer where it's nowhere, it's not available anywhere but Istanbul or something like that, right? But you will get your hands on it as I beer burp right there, and that's not very classy. But anyway, so just wanted to tell you that so I'm not hogging all the good brew for myself because I'm all about generosity. All right, there we go. You're good enough to watch. You're nice enough and good enough to me to watch this episode. I should return the favor and let you guys know where you can get this beer there. But obviously, you're in the Cleveland area. Oh yeah, you'd be able to get your hands on this, no problem. There you go. But anyway, I think I've belabored this point, so let's wrap up this brew review time. Okay, let me double check, do a little house cleaning here. We're all good to go. We're all good to go there. All right. And let's do this here. I want to show you something here that you should definitely check out because it might just improve your life. It's just going to be so special for you there, and you're going to be like, "Oh man, Van, I'm so glad you shared this with me. It's so cool. Thank you very, very much here." And that, of course, is the Movies Merica merch store. Yes, I wanted to show you all this because I don't want to hog all the Movies Merica merch for myself. But yes, for one thing that we have there, or one item that we have here available is the Movies Merica Big Mugs camo trucker hat there. And full disclosure, there is no purple on this hat there. So, but otherwise, it looks just like that. But yeah, we'll dig into a little bit more of the items here that we have available. But yeah, there's that hat again. We have the Big Mugs style Movies Merica logo, and I really hate the scroll wheel on my mouse right here because it's not doing what I wanted here, as you may be able to tell right there. But anyway, that's my problem, not yours. But yeah, we got the Big Mugs style of Movies Merica logo on several things, as you can see right here. You even got the old tank top right there. You probably get it in white, so you have yourself a little Movies Merica wife beater right there. Also, if you're fit in trim and you can get away with wearing a sports bra like that, like just going out like that, hey, we got a Big Mugs sports bra there for you, all right? If you're a guy buying that, it's a little weird, unless you're buying it for your lady or something like that. But anyway, then we also have the next Movies Merica style logo, the Holly Weird Movies Merica logo. And of course, we've got that on a number of clothing items there as well, like the baseball long sleeve. And you can get yourself a hoodie, which comes in pretty handy this time of year when I'm recording this in several areas of the country there here in America. And then now we're getting down to my favorite Movies Merica logo style. This is the Black Adam Movies Merica logo style here. And again, you can get this on all kinds of different clothing items and that kind of thing. Are you detecting a pattern here? So there you go. But then also, hey, you might be saying, "Hey, Van, thanks a lot, but I've bought all your Movies Merica clothes and all that stuff. I got a full closet full of Movies Merica gear." But you know what I do want right now? What I don't have is I have a lack of drinkware. And so, hey, friend, do you have some Movies Merica drinkware? And I will have to say to you back, friend, yes, we do. And get ready to feast your eyes at all the Movies Merica drinkware, like the coffee cup. I got the can-shaped glass here, obviously made of glass. I got the pint glass. Got a koozie here to keep your stuff nice and cool. I got a stainless steel koozie right there. Other things right here. Got a desk mats going on right there. So, and making it very easy for you to get to the Movies Merica merch website because the link to this website is down in the description right down there. So go ahead and click on that and you'll be able to get right into the Movies Merica merch store. And yeah, I mean, it makes a great gift there as well, especially for like somebody in your family or a friend that you know loves movies. And it's a great way to, kind of put out the word, what's the phrase they always use? Like we want to raise awareness. It's a good way to raise awareness of Movies Merica out there. If you just out there sporting Movies Merica merch, I appreciate that. I appreciate that more than you know. If you go out there and wear the Movies Merica merch, now I know like when I wear like I have a Movies Merica T-shirt, I have a Movies Merica hat, and I'll wear it out in public. And sometimes I even get stopped by people there, and they're asking like, "Hey, what's Movies Merica, man? What's that all about?" And so it opens up. It's like a good conversation starter. I will say I was at a bar one time and I had my Movies Merica T-shirt on there, and let's just say if a woman who was very easy on the eyes came up to me and asked me what Movies Merica was right there. And she turned out to be a big movie fan. So it was very, very cool there. But yeah, get to this Movies Merica merch store there and check that out right there. And that's all I got to say about that, to quote Forrest Gump. So, so yeah, get in there and get yourself some merch right there. You will not be sorry. All right. How about we do this? How about we move on to some more Nuremberg? And I just have some random thoughts about this fantastic World War II historical drama. And my first random thought is the evidence video of the concentration camps was unsurprisingly shocking, maddening, and saddening all at the same time. It cuts through all the legal minutia of the trial with just a gut punch to your emotions. Director James Franklin asked the cast because he knew that they were going to, do Nuremberg research. Obviously because they're in a movie about the Nuremberg trials. They want to do some research for their characters. And he asked them not to watch the actual Nazi concentration camps film that was shown during the actual Nuremberg trials. And the reason is he wanted them to be seeing it for the first time when they see it while filming that scene for the Nuremberg movie, where they do show the Nazi concentration camps film. And I keep saying Nazi concentration camps film because that's the title of the film there. So, but yeah, he asked them, please, Russell, Rami, Michael, please don't watch this film ahead of time. I want you to see it fresh. When you watch when we're showing it for filming that scene in the movie. And he put 4 cameras on 4 lead actors so he could get their honest reactions to the horrors that they were seeing via this film. And it's a powerful scene. It is a powerful scene, and you see it change Douglas Kelly's attitude. Again, Rami Malek's character, the psychiatrist. You see it change Kelly's attitude about the gravity of what he's a part of here in Nuremberg. And useless trivia, just a little useless trivia here if you're a big movie maniac or a fellow freedom-fueled film fanatic like me. Useless trivia here. The Nazi concentration camps film that I'm talking about right now, it actually was made by legendary director John Ford while John Ford was still in the military. And then if, as you movie maniacs already know, likely, John Ford, he'd later go on to direct Hollywood classics like The Grapes of Wrath and The Quiet Man, 2 movies he won Academy Awards for. And then also he directed famously Stagecoach and other Westerns like The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, other like the Enforcers, I think was another Western that he directed. So if that name John Ford sounded familiar, yes, it's that same John Ford, the legendary director there that created that Nazi concentration camps film. But that film basically what it does, it just shows evidence filmed of multiple concentration camps, if not all of them, right there. Where I think some of the footage was from the Nazis themselves, because the Nazis, one of their characteristics is they documented everything, whether it was on paper or on film. They documented everything. And I think some of the other horrific, just heartbreaking footage was from like the U.S. military or the British military or whatever, the Allied military, filming what they were finding as they went in and liberated these camps. But God, that scene it'll get you. it'll get you. And like it's intense. I mean, this movie's PG-13, but you know, in another context, like say if what you saw in the Nazi concentration camps film were part of like just some horror movie, that movie would be rated X or rated NC-17 nowadays. Okay, but in the framework of this movie and in the framework of this footage being part of like real life Nazi atrocities where they're literally trying to exterminate an entire race of people. Uh, it still doesn't earn this movie an NC-17 rating there, and so it's something else there. But just be warned when you watch it. And the footage I've seen other Nazi concentration camp footage like on the internet and random places on the internet, and what they show in this movie, it's not even the worst I've seen. God, I don't even want to think about it. So moving on to the next random thought I have on Nuremberg is one of the characteristics of most historical dramas is they have impactful movie soundtracks, and Nuremberg is no different. Composer Brian Tyler, and if that name sounds familiar, he's the same guy who does the music for like Yellowstone and other Taylor Sheridan TV shows, and he also does like movie soundtracks. Well, obviously this movie here and other movie soundtracks as well. But composer Brian Tyler creates a powerful and thunderous at times and others tender soundtrack. Now his soundtrack crescendos are just really good, just crescendos up and gets louder ingeniously when a significant event happens or to show like how foreboding Hermann Goring is at times. And then Brian Tyler like kind of just brings it on down. All right, just does that just brings it on down and just changes the mood and does that. It's time for couple skates. It's a this it turns on the quiet storm. Goes softer with the music for the more personal scenes there. But those are just a couple of random thoughts I had about Nuremberg there. So I mean, it's just just more to enjoy about this movie, except for the I wouldn't say you're necessarily going to enjoy the Nazi concentration camps film part of this movie, but it is a necessary part of the movie there. It's essential that they have it in there. But anyway, moving on. All right, wanted to remind you here that I do have another show on weekly. Now, obviously, you're watching the Sunday afternoon show here, but I also have a show on Thursday nights, and that is a show where it could contain spoilers, and so much so I even put a spoiler warning in the title of the show. So the title of the show is called Movies Merica Spoiler Warning. And it's the thing is like with that show on the Thursday night, I don't go out of my way to reveal spoilers, but I also don't tiptoe and walk on eggshells trying not to spoil the movie here, like I'm doing today. Okay, so if you see a little bead of sweat coming down my forehead, it's because I'm literally, well, not literally, but I'm metaphorically, walking on eggshells, trying not to drop any spoilers for you on today's episode, because this is Movies Merica Live. This is the spoiler-free show. Not so much on Thursday night. Thursday night, I could spoil some stuff. So that's why I'm hoping that anybody watching this live right now or watching the recording of it here in the next few days, that this video here, this live stream, convinces you to watch Nuremberg and then come back on Thursday night where I'm going to be talking about Nuremberg, spoilers and all, in more depth. Okay, I'm going to be busting out the scalpel and the suction and doing a deep dive and an autopsy on Nuremberg there. And so I should probably tell you, hey, what time does my show come on Thursday? And that comes on at Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific time there. And you'll be able to watch the show. The links will be available to watch the show on Thursday morning there. Probably the easiest way to get the links is go to my X account under @Movies Merica. Just look for, or just type in Movies Merica on X and it'll come right up there. So, or you could just go to Rumble or YouTube and just type in Movies Merica Nuremberg. on Thursday. Don't do it before Thursday because you won't find it there. But on Thursday, yeah, just type in Movies Merica Nuremberg and just look for Movies Merica spoiler warning there. And usually you'll first be able to search that and then actually find it on Thursday morning right there. But I hope to see you there. I love, on Thursdays, like, everyone getting a live chat and let me know what they think about the movie that the show is about. Obviously, in this case, this week, it's about Nuremberg. It's a great chance for you to get in the live chat and let me know stuff like, hey, what's your favorite war historical drama movie? Or what's your favorite World War II historical drama movie? I mean, some people like, something like Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks, the Spielberg movie there. Yeah, of course, the classics, Saving Private Ryan. So others like World War II dramas like that there. So, and then, or you can, let me know, hey, what'd you hate about the movie? What'd you like about the movie? Did you just think the movie's kind of meh? All that stuff. And you can do all that in the live chat. Ultimately, you can live chat about whatever you want in a live chat there via Rumble and YouTube. But again, that's Thursday night. Movies Merica, spoiler warning, again at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. On Pacific time right there as my brain just went blank there right there suddenly. So I think we all have those senior moments, right? So there you go. But check that out. And hey, let your friends and family know about that show on Thursday night if you're pretty sure that they've seen Nuremberg. Or hey, you know what? Sit their asses down in front of Netflix and watch Nuremberg there, and then you guys can both, or all of you that you sit down, can all check out the show this Thursday night where we talk about Nuremberg, and we'll just have a good old time. All right, we'll sit around the campfire and talk us some Nuremberg. How about it? There we go. But enough about that. We're moving on. All right, and so right now I'm going to get to another one of my regular segments that I do on the Sunday show, and that is the segment about whether or not the movie that I'm talking about this week is a woke after-school special. Okay, now a lot of you might know what woke is or have your own definition of what woke is, but some of you younger folks out there, some of you young whippersnappers out there, okay, or you little kids out there, you may not know what a after-school special is, okay? And so in order to give this segment the proper context for you, I should probably let you know really quickly what an after-school special is. So an after-school special is something that came out back in the late 70s and 80s there. And as it infers in the name of it, it comes on after school, like 3:30 or whatever, okay, Central Time there. But it was a show where you'd come home and you'd be like, Ma, can I turn on the TV? I want to watch Dukes of Hazzard. I want to watch, DuckTales or something like that. And you fire up the TV, you're like, wait, where's DuckTales? What's going on? What is this show? And it says ABC after school special. And these after school specials would all be like these half an hour or so shows that are all about life lessons that they're trying to portray, trying to teach kids, right? Like don't smoke or don't drink, or when the creepy guy that looks like Joe Biden rolls up in your neighborhood with the van with no windows and says, "Hey kids, I got free ice cream in here. Come on, get your cute asses in here and get some free ice cream." Like, don't get in Joe Biden's van with no windows. Like, it's just valuable life lessons for kids, right? And, their heart's in the right place as far as teaching these lessons. It's a good objective there, but they're just so corny and cheesy. Okay, when you watch them, even back then they were corny and cheesy. So that's what an after school special is. Okay, and so I like to let people know via this segment whether or not the movie I'm talking about this episode is a woke after school special. In other words, is it a movie that's like, we're not really interested in entertaining you and making your life better by presenting you with a movie that's either entertaining or informative and all that stuff. No, we just want to make this movie, and oftentimes we're going to wrap it up in familiar IP that like Star Wars and Star Trek and Marvel. We're gonna use that, and we're gonna defile all that by awkwardly and clumsily inserting our little woke messaging in there. And so that's what a woke after school special is. And obviously, as you know, I don't have to tell you, as you know, we've had we've had an armada of woke after school specials that aren't movies. They're woke after school specials. Okay. And so to get to this week's movie, Nuremberg, is Nuremberg a woke after school special? And thankfully, it's not. Okay. Now, this movie was right on the tip of being a woke after school special because the way that they talk about how people can be evil and people that even look like normal people, like they look like you and me, right? Just like the Nazis look normal. I mean, if you didn't know who they were, you'd be like, oh, it's just another human being right there. The messaging that really is a core part of this movie is that, hey, evil isn't just done by people with horns coming out of their heads and look all evil and all that stuff. Like they just look like normal people there, and you always got to look out for evil and this and a lot of people, like during the interviews, like the cast interviews for this movie, they're talking about this movie is more relevant today than ever. And if you know anything about actors and Hollywood and that kind of thing and what's going on, a lot of people, when they make a movie about like Nazis and that kind of thing, or dictators, fascists and that kind of thing, and they say something like, "Oh, this movie is more relevant than ever." What they have in their mind is let's just cut through it. Donald Trump. Okay, that's what they have in their mind right there. Now, they don't go as far as saying in this movie shows us about evil, or they don't have a caption at the end of the movie going, the Nazis and Hitler were evil, and if you think evil has gone away, it's not. We are facing it even nowadays, like with people like President Trump. Like, there's no like caption or anything like that at the end of the movie, and nobody even says as much during the movie. Okay, and I haven't heard anybody in any of the cast interviews, for this movie. I haven't heard anybody. I haven't seen every interview, but you just know. I mean, actors have made their affection for all things woke, evident for long enough to where we know when they talk like this, we know that what they have in the back of their mind as those words are escaping their mouth right there. And the word Nazi gets lazily thrown around today to the point that, I mean, it almost has no impact or weight. I mean, however, back in the period of time that, today's movie Nuremberg takes place in, that word stood for something real, okay, not something fake, like how leftists and never Trumpers use that word for Trump or anyone who dares disagree with him politically right there, okay? So, but for a lot of people, a lot of leftists, a lot of never Trumpers, when they realize, oh crap, I'm losing the debate, I have no facts on my side, they have every fact on their side, I have no facts on my side, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like evasive action. What do I do? Oh, I know. I'll use my little weaponized safe word that I always go to. It's my little word that I keep here in my little toolbox right here. I'm just going to take this word, Nazi, and just arbitrarily throw it at them, even though I damn well know it doesn't apply to the person that I'm having a debate with. But I'm hoping that whoever I'm debating with is weak-minded, very limp-wristed, and once they hear themselves being called a Nazi, they'll be like, oh, please don't call me a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. I swear to God, I'm not a Nazi. Okay, you win. You win the debate. I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up now. Okay, have a good day. Okay, like that's the response that the leftists and the never Trumpers are always hoping for when they just randomly, lazily throw the word Nazi or fascist out there. Okay, but it's used so much nowadays that it has no weight, no impact whatsoever. Nowadays leftists call their shoes Nazis if they're having trouble tying their shoelaces, or if Chipotle doesn't have the meat that they want for their little burrito right there. Oh, suddenly Chipotle is a bunch of meat Nazis and fascists, that kind of thing. So it's really, really, really pathetic. They're kind of like the word racist has basically virtually no impact and no meaning to it because people just it might as well be the word water. Okay, it just means absolutely nothing right there. But all that to say, hey, is Nuremberg a woke after school special? And through all of that commentary I just gave you right there, I will say yes. No, I don't know why did I say yes? No. Nuremberg is not a woke after school special. Another feather in Nuremberg's cap. The movie, that is. Okay, Nuremberg movie's cap right there. It is not a woke after school special, and thank God for that. Okay, so all right, let's press on. Okay, well, if I haven't offended all of you yet, and you're still here and you're appreciating anything that I'm doing here enough, like maybe you appreciate how I'm, saving you, 2 hours of your time and money by letting you know what movies suck, or I'm turning you on to a good movie like Nuremberg here. If you appreciate that or stuff like the Brew Review Time enough to maybe throw a buck or two my way, well, you most certainly can do that, okay? And I'm going to show you how you do that. So I'm going to start out with Rumble, and how you do that all starts with the live chat window, okay? And so if you're watching me on Rumble and you don't have the live chat window up, well, it's just a matter of like going down there and click on the chat button or live chat button right on down there. And then when that window is open up there, then you just have to go down to where you type in your live chat message, and there's a button down there with a $sign on it. And when you click on that, don't worry, it's not going to take any money out at that point. It's just going to pop up another window. And then that window will ask you how much you want to donate to me, okay? And then if you haven't donated before, it'll just ask you for like your credit card or bank account information, all that stuff. But then you only have to do that one time. And then you just say, hey, I want to donate a buck or two to this chucklehead here. And that's it. There it is. Very simple, very easy, that's for sure. And then if you're watching me on the YouTube side, it works very similarly. Okay, it's uncanny how similar it is. On YouTube, again, it starts with the whole live chat window right there. So on YouTube, click on the chat or live chat button right on down there to open up the live chat window, and then go to the bottom of the live chat window where you type in your little messages right there. And then right below that, there's a button with a dollar bill on it. And when you click on that, it'll just pop up another window asking how much you want to donate there. Again, like on Rumble, if you've never donated before, it'll ask you for your bank information or your credit card information, that kind of thing. It's all secure. I mean, I've got my bank information with Rumble and YouTube so I can do donate stuff, and I've never had a problem with it. Never had anybody never had a sudden surprise charge show up on my bank statement. Wait, hey, who bought this? Who bought this kayak in my name in Littleton, Colorado, and hey, who bought that $3,000 TV in my name in Sydney, Australia? I've never had that coming from Rumble or anything like that. So it's all secure. But that's how you do it. That's if you want to donate any money my way, if you're appreciating me saving you money and time, by all means, do that there. But so yeah, just want to put that in your ear. But also I left something out about Rumble. So on Rumble, there's also a tip button, okay? And that's the tip button is right on down there. And the tip button, basically, that's just how you can tip me. But when you tip me, it uses the Rumble wallet, okay? And so so you have to have the Rumble wallet there. And that just takes like the money from your Rumble wallet account, and you're paying me with that. So your crypto money from the Rumble wallet. So but that's a whole other subject. Look into that if you want that kind of thing. So, but anyway, enough begging for money from me. Let's press on. All right. So my final thoughts on Nuremberg, if you haven't picked it up yet, is to see this movie. Okay, check out this movie, and it's on Netflix right now. Okay, so check that out. Netflix has got that they're free of charge to you. If you subscribe to Netflix, that's free. But you check it out. It's a great watch. It's 2 hours and 6 minutes long, I'm pretty sure, there. So it's not going to take up too much time of your day. But you're going to be enjoying the whole time that you're watching it on Netflix. There's PG-13. Now, I would not have the kids watch it, at least definitely not the part with the Nazi concentration camps film right there, unless, I don't know, I mean, you might, I guess, from a pure educational, true world history standpoint, hey, parents, you make the call. You know your kids better than me, whether or not they're going to be able to handle it. But the rest of the movie, they can handle. It's fine. There's some profanity in the movie there, but nothing like that's going to scar your kids for life, or you're going to have to spend $85,000 on child psychiatrists or anything like that. So there you go. And before I wrap up the show, I just want to acknowledge here, Mr. Scott Awesome there in the live chat. Our Rumble says, Mountain Time isn't real. Well, you're not making friends with our viewers in Colorado and New Mexico and Wyoming and all them right there. So, but hey, Mr. Scott Awesome, you'll have to take that up with them right there. I'm staying out of it. I'm Switzerland in this deal. I'm totally neutral. There you go. But I love it. I love it. So, yeah, like I said, we're getting ready to wrap up this show right here. But to real quick, just let me beg you for something here. I know I'm going to look very pathetic, but I just want to ask you to follow me on the platforms that I'm on the websites or the platforms that I'm on. Like I'm on X, okay, and I'm on X under @Movies Merica. If you follow me there, I'm on Rumble. Now, if you're watching me on Rumble, you're like, duh. Of course you're on Rumble. So if you go to Rumble, just look up Movies Merica, and you'll see like 3 Movies Merica accounts. So go ahead and follow me on all 3 of those if you would. That'd be fantastic. I'm on Facebook as well. I have a Movies Merica page, Movies Merica group. So go ahead and join those there if you would. Again, I have a Movies Merica group and a Movies Merica page on Facebook. And then also I have my Van Ebert account there on Facebook, and friend me on there as well. And then it also, when you friend me, I think it lets you put a message on there or something like that where you say like, "Hey Van, I watched your Movies Merica show. Will you add me as a friend?" Otherwise, if I don't know you, I don't add friends on Facebook that I don't know here. But if you let me know, hey, I'm Lou, and I saw you on your Movies Merica, and I just want to be friends with you. Then guess what? I'm going to friend you right there. It'll be my honor to do that right there, okay? I'm also on Instagram under Movies Merica. I'm on Gab under Movies Merica as well, so check all that out. Sorry, I don't have a MySpace Movies Merica account or Friendster. No, but not on those right there currently. I know those MySpace and Friendster, those are the leading cutting edge of platforms right there. Of course, there you go. All right, and check out a couple of my buddies also out on Rumble there. We got Lindy Rigg there. Check him out there. We've got my man Brandon there as well. Beyond Formal is how you would search for him. Beyond Formal. I got Sean Cav Live, and then we check out the search for the Whiskey Capitalist podcast also on Rumble there. So those are great shows you can check out. All right. But getting ready to wrap up this episode here. But again, I want to just thank everybody for watching this show, whether you're watching it live, like Mr. Scott Awesome, or you're watching the recording of it, okay, like many of you are. And again, if you're watching the recording, hi, okay. And again, reach out to me via the comments section below. And so everybody follow me. Oh, also, yeah, don't be stingy hogs and hog this show for yourself. Yes, send the link to this episode or to my webpage that has all my episodes, or send that to anybody that you know or even remotely suspects is into movies. Send the links to them there as well. All right, so wrapping up the show, but as always, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya. Hello, freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/Movies Merica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies Merica. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies Merica live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesmerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @Movies Merica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got a popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching.